How's it going, everybody? My name is Infamous Isaac, and this is video number 2 in the recording session I'm doing right now. So, if you hear my energy slowly decrease as these videos come out, then now you know why. But this video is more about me just talking to you guys about something I've found interesting, or at least I've wanted to talk about, where it's like anime, right? It's a pretty important part of the channel. I watch a lot of anime, and as weird as that sounds, as much as it makes me sound like a virgin, then I mean, shoot, like whatever. But I like it. It's a fun medium of entertainment that I like to watch and digest, and it's cool. Granted, it's not like it's the only form of media I digest either, because I've watched other, like, let's say, sci-fi or realistic stuff like Breaking Bad or movies or stuff like that. it, I feel like having a palette where like you consume more than just what you like is important, and I haven't done that, so I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to expand it because Breaking Bad would have not been something I would have watched. Like reality TV has never really interested me, or at least like real life actors have never really interested me too much because you lose something in that where in animation you could just go crazy. At the same time, in animation, you lose that impact of having a really good real life actor like Bryan Cranston, like the where's the money, Skylar, wouldn't have been as impactful if it was animated, like seeing his face contort and his scream is crazy, genuinely crazy. But that isn't about that. I'm here to talk about like what's the word? Padding out and just continuous long series versus seasonal stuff. And I mentioned this before with like Boruto and One Piece, right? Where Boruto has filler in this show, right? And that's fine, You can watch filler if you want. I don't prefer it. I don't like it. I'd rather just have seasonal stuff, but by all means, I'm not here to judge you. There's also the One Piece method where it's padded out. You stretch out chapters. So, like, let's say a chapter would take 2 episodes. Like, it's going about that. You make the show longer by stretching it out, and not by like, again, adding filler, but more stretching out the material of the thing, so making it slower. So, let's say like Luffy just says like, "Oh, I want meat," and then every character in his crew has a take, like a double take where they look at him, stunned and confused for like a minute and stuff like that. Like that's padding out. And I wanted to just talk about it to hear what people like would think about it, because I don't want to have the assumption like everybody likes seasonal stuff, because there are downsides to it, genuinely. And I just wanted to hear from people like, what do you guys prefer? Do you like having something to watch every week, or would you rather have more condensed, concentrated, and just focused content in like for let's say like 6 months if it's 12 maybe, or 24, or like almost a year if it's 24 episodes? Or, do you not like that? Do you hate the wait? I don't know. Let me go into it right though. Let me go into the negatives for it. So the negatives for filler and padding out, like, you obviously have non-canon manga stuff, right? And if the studio that does the filler stuff isn't a good studio compared to what the mangaka himself, or their self, if they're female, is writing, then it's going to suffer. You're going to have a clear drop off in, like, oh, you can tell this is filler. You can tell there's a noticeable drop off in storytelling quality and just effort compared to what the normal stuff is, especially if it's like a long running show. Like Boruto is a greatest example. You can tell that the filler comes in once the story stops getting interesting, because the filler is really boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's really boring. But then the anime canon as well is also a type of filler, because it's not canon to the manga. And granted, people always make the argument like, yeah, it's anime canon. It's still canon, but only to the anime. It's like, yeah, that it still is to the anime, but at the end of the day, it's not manga canon. So it's bound to be filler. Even if the anime has its own continuity, at the end of the day, they're still going to be following the manga canon, unless if it does a complete departure. Like, let's say Promise Neverland or Tokyo Ghoul, where they did a complete departure from it. It's like, if that's the case, then yeah, of course, I can see that being its own thing, where manga canon is its own type of thing. But if you have Boruto anime canon, where it's just meant to fill out space between arcs in the manga, then that's basically filler. It's that's the only way, that's the only purpose it serves. If it's anime canon that's meant to fill out, it's filler. That's the way I viewed it. But you know, that's just how I see it, and people, not everybody sees it like that, but some people do, and I just, that's how I see it. But then you have the padding. You go into the padding again with the One Piece, and this one isn't as bad as the Boruto one, and not because it's One Piece, but just because like it's not as egregious, where you just have blatant spurts of filler going on, where now you just have longer episodes where like not much happens. So if let's say Usopp is on a ship and he's just going about doing his daily duties, which would take like a chapter, in the show it would take like almost all of the episode, and that sucks. That genuinely does suck. But on the other hand, you don't get much filler. One Piece is a 1,000 episode show and it has like 100 filler. Well, Boruto, the show has like 60 to 70 episodes of manga canon, and the rest of it is filler. And I don't want to be harsh on that because I didn't mention the positives for it. Having filler means you get a break from the action. If you can't watch manga canon every week and you just can't do that, then shoot, here's filler. If you want to watch it, you can for the people that want something to see. And if you don't want to watch it, you can take a break, it does serve a purpose. I don't want to make it look like it doesn't, because even though I am biased, it does have a purpose. Filler is meant to space out the show when there isn't any manga like canon material to go off of, or I mean, there is, but it's not enough to make a whole arc, a whole weekly running series thing. So you would need to have filler or anime canon. And it's not like not like anime canon is bad. Like all of it is bad. No, there's some good ones. It's just for the most part, my experience has been pretty negative, and that negligent. Some of the manga can, or excuse me, anime canon and filler is just negligent to me. Like I could just gloss over it and not miss a thing. So it does have its thing. It does have its purpose. It does have its benefits. But for me, they're outweighed by the other options that we have coming up. Like I said, with the One Piece filling out, you don't miss episodes, but now it's gonna take longer to get to what you want. You know, this show has been running since 1999. It's gonna be 30 years old once 2029 hits. Like this show has been running for a grip, and it's still not done. It's almost caught up to the manga. It's almost there, but there's still a gap between the manga and the show, which is purposeful. You don't want the show to catch up to the manga because then they're gonna have to either take a break, make filler, or just do anime canon type stuff, which we don't want because the filler in One Piece isn't the best. There is some good ones, but they're just not that good. So you don't want that. You definitely don't want that, which I'm fine with. The One Piece padding, I'm okay with it. Could it be done another way? Yeah, sure, but it's a long running show. It's been running for this long. Why would they change it up now? But then you have to my preferential one, the seasonal stuff. The seasonal stuff is what I like to digest the most because the positives are literally you have breaks between it, so the quality of the show increases, and it doesn't falter. You don't see a noticeable drop off in quality unless if something happened to the show, or like one of the arcs just for some reason had like stinky stuff in it for some reason, whether that's because of the manga itself or because of the animators or the studio doing it. Who knows? But for the most part, there shouldn't be a noticeable drop off in quality without reason. You know, there's also what's the word? It's in short bursts, so you don't have to invest yourself for like a year or 2 years, anything like that, where you just have to be constantly tuning in. And granted, by the way, to solve that problem, I know you can just like wait for all of it to release. But if you don't do that, then you're gonna have to be waiting. And if you do wait, then you're gonna be waiting. Like I said, like you're going to be waiting for this to finish, which sucks because if it's a really good show, like let's say Jujutsu Kaisen, you're gonna be just sitting there hearing people have a great time watching the show when a heater episode drops. So it's gonna be a sacrifice. To digest it fully, you're gonna have to sacrifice the now. It's gonna be a long-term plan. That's what you're doing, which is understandable. I understand that. I'm doing that for part 6 of JoJo's because one of my friends is like, it's not worth just watching it separately considering how good part 6 can get. So I understand because I know part 6 can get really good, but having that short burst really does help make it easier to digest in good amounts. Like Demon Slayer is the perfect example. That season 2, only had 12 episodes compared to 26 in season 1. It took 3 years to get season 2. But in turn, we got some of the best animation I've ever seen in like almost all of anime. Only a few shows can contest how good Demon Slayer season 2 really was. And it's because of the animation. Like the story was simple. You're going to a red light district to kill a demon. That's it. That's literally it. It's just the animation enhanced it so much that it made it peak. Literally, it made it peak. It was insane, genuinely insane. And My Hero here, like in this season, season 6, we've gone through season 1, like 2015, all the way here to 2022, where we've gone like a year without the show, a year with it, all that stuff. And it does the seasonal method. It does that where you go about dropping 26 episodes a year, taking a break, and making more episodes, and then dropping it the next year, or maybe 2 years afterwards. And it works, like having My Hero all the time, every day, every week, every year would ruin the show for me. I wouldn't be able to watch it because if I had filler in My Hero on top of me not liking some of the stuff in the show, I would probably drop it. I would generally probably drop it, which sucks. But we're not in that timeline because since it's seasonal, it makes it easier to digest the good and the bad. Because My Hero has some good, like no doubt, My Hero has some good. If you don't think it does, then that's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I can say for certain that I like some of the parts in My Hero. And that's why I keep coming back because season 4 was peak. Season 5 had some fire stuff in it, and just overall, some of the characters are cool. Like, I hate Bakugo, but still, I'll come back to watch the show. And that's why I like the seasonal method because you have those bursts, good bursts of peak. You don't have to wait as long for the show to finish, so you don't have to be like, oh yeah, I want to wait like 4 years for the show to finish because it's a weekly running series. Nah, it's short. It'll take like maybe a couple months, sure, like maybe 5, 6. Uh, I don't remember how many weeks 12 episodes is. I mean, 12 weeks, yeah, but like how many months is that? Oh, it's three. It's 3 months. So 3 months like that, 24. Shoot, if you want like 6 months. So it's not, again, it's not that bad. You can find other stuff to watch while that's happening. So I think seasonal for me is just the best option in what I like to do. I like seasonal because that's the method that appeals to me the most, where I can digest content the easiest and in the best format, where quality and storytelling doesn't have to be sacrificed because they have to pad out an episode or because they have to put filler in between. Because they have to meet a quota of having an episode release every 40, like having 48 episodes released in a year, whether they're filler or not. So that's just the way I prefer it, right? But let me know what you guys think because I don't want it to be biased where you agree with me because of that or not. I want to hear it. Do you genuinely prefer filler and the anime canon or the padding out? Or do you prefer the seasonal? I could just assume that people would be like, "Oh yeah, seasonal," but that's not fair because I'm biased. I'm genuinely biased. So I want to hear unbiased opinions from you guys if you're willing to share them in the comments. If not, just I'll try to telepathically get an answer from you. But let me know what you guys think. Anyways, though, it's gonna be it for me for now. Thank you all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll check you out in the next video. Until next time, this has been Infamous Isaac, and I'll see you all later. Peace.